Epic has finally bought back the OG Season 1 map, and I'll be honest, I've never been more excited to play the game. Personally, I've been playing the game to grind the battle passes and collect as many skins as I can. But now, almost everyone who left the game after Season 1 is coming back to give the game another go and relive the good old simpler times. Anyways, if you've clicked on this video to know more about the history of Fortnite and its lore, you've come to the right place. We'll be breaking down everything from Chapter 1, Season 1 to Season 10 in a two-part series. And this video, we'll be covering the storyline from Season 1 to Season 7. I'll try to keep it as simple and easy as possible. There's a lot going on from season to season, so make sure to watch all the way through to see how it all ends in the biggest live event any video game has seen. What's really funny and shocking about the first two seasons is that Fortnite was initially launched as a test game to showcase the capability of a game creation platform, much like what Unreal Engine is today. Hence, the developers initially just added a bunch of cartoon-themed assets, which included player skins. Little did they know that Fortnite would turn into the most played game that year. In its first few months, Epic started making millions with Fortnite, and that was when the developers realized that they would have to shift the primary focus to making this the best battle royale title available to both PC and console players. Unlike today, where a season can last anywhere between 3 to 6 months, the initial seasons lasted anywhere between 40 to 50 days. Hence, there was no solid backstory running for Season 1 and 2. The only focus was on the map and developing the already existing POIs. I personally call this season the John Wick season. Fortnite introduced a battle pass along with a John Wick skin, which is still considered one of the sweatiest skins in the game. But besides all the hype surrounding the game, small changes started to show up around the map. If players looked at the sun, they could see a random meteor appearing out of nowhere. This was probably the first lore element to enter the game. As days passed, telescopes started to appear all over the map, pointing towards the meteor. People started to figure out that this meteor was headed towards the island. To make things even more interesting, when players aimed at the comet with their guns, they were greeted with the Take the L emote music. Later in the season, an SOS message with the coordinates D5418 made everyone think the comet was headed to Tilted Towers, as those were the coordinates assigned to Tilted Towers at the time. The hype regarding the comet getting closer led to a live in-game event that saw things take a turn, and out of nowhere, the comet crashed into Dusty Depot. The POI's name changed from Dusty Depot to Dusty Divot, and with that, Season 3 concluded, giving a glimpse of what could happen in the Fortnite world. Season 4 begins by introducing a new character into the game known as the Visitor. He was spotted in Dusty Depot and is considered to have arrived on the island along with the comet that crashed into it. The Visitor later settled down at a new POI named the Villain Lair. The Villain Lair would then collect what seemed to be hot, glowing rocks with some kind of special energy in them. These rocks could be found randomly all over the island and seem to boost the movements of players, giving them a special ability for a short period of time. While everyone thought these rocks would breed some kind of new monster, that certainly wasn't the case. These rocks were being collected and used at the villain's lair to build a huge rocket. This in turn led to the Rocket live event, which saw a rift appear in the sky once it was launched. Initially, everyone didn't bother about the rift as it caused no harm of any sort. But as the season progressed, the rift started to cause items to disappear from the map. The iconic sign in Lonely Lodge and the Tomato Head statue went missing. Apart from that, the rift started to drop huge items onto the island, like an anchor and the skeleton bone remains of what looks like a dinosaur. Are you enjoying the video so far? If yes, please do not forget to check out our channel for more lore-related videos on multiple games. Our aim is to make sure we cover backstories, Easter eggs, fan theories, and much more about all the major video game titles. There might be a ton of elements you're missing out on while grinding your favorite game. Our mission here is to keep you up to date on the lore of your favorite games. So why wait? Head on over to our channel and check out our other videos as well. Season 5 was nicknamed Worlds Collide. As the name suggests, elements from other worlds started entering the Fortnite island. New POIs like Paradise Palms popped up on the map, as well as the iconic Viking Village. With new locations being added to the map, the OG soccer fields were removed, suggesting more changes were on the horizon. Along with these map changes, a huge purple-colored cube was spotted on the island, and players named it Kevin the Cube. The cube was filled with an alien-like energy similar to the hot rocks from the previous season, except it was much bigger and more powerful in terms of the energy it stored. The cube kept moving every hour all across the map and finally came back to Loot Lake. Like every overpowered scenario in Fortnite, Kevin's temporary dominance over the Fortnite map had to come to an end. And where better to end it all than Loot Lake? Kevin made its way to Loot Lake for another spectacular live event where the cube was overloaded with energy and melted away into the lake. The whole lake turned into what looked like a new form of liquid energy, and Loot Lake went all purple. The entire lake was now filled with the same energy Kevin the cube had, except now it was spread across the entirety of Loot Lake. The whole lake was glowing purple, and the season ended with these dramatic series of events. Season 6 kicked off with the resurgence of Kevin the Cube, and like always, Kevin made a typically dramatic return. Loot Lake once again exploded, lifting the island in the center. Below the island was an overpowered version of Kevin the Cube. It was literally carrying the island on the edge of the cube. Kevin the Cube, along with the island, traveled all across the map, creating anti-gravity zones where players could jump much higher than normal. These locations, later called runes, became summoning grounds for strange monsters, which were then called husks. Kevin kept traveling far and wide across the map, and husks were taking over as well. Players were tasked with the objective of destroying these runes, and it was complete chaos all over the map. After multiple attempts, players were able to destroy the runes, which in turn led to the cube completely blowing up and getting sucked into the original rift that brought Kevin to the island. After the cube was destroyed, players were taken into another dimension for a brief period of time before returning to the island. The era of the comet and rift slowly but dramatically came to an end. Loot Lake was restored to a calm location, and the husks were no more. For the remainder of the season, the island was healing itself from all the damage it had taken. From comets crashing into rift-related chaos, the island slowly but steadily got back to its normal state, and everyone was excited for the upcoming holiday season. While all seemed to be fine, players spotted an iceberg heading towards the island. As expected, the iceberg crashes into the island to form Polar Peak. This new POI was basically a mountain-sized ice block with a ton of secrets underneath it. As days passed by, the ice slowly melted, revealing a castle beneath it. This castle introduced new items to the game, like dragon eggs and the incredibly powerful Infinity Blade. Unfortunately, this weapon was so overpowered that the game developers had to remove it. The castle came with an Ice King who had his own throne within the castle. As days passed and more ice melted, the Ice Throne also melted, and the king took refuge in a spherical ice case just above the castle. While all this happened, a mysterious arm of a prisoner was located in the pedestal room. On the rest of the island, people who had access to television sets received a warning of a heavy snowstorm heading their way. In a matter of a few weeks, the entire island was covered in snow. The Ice King broke free from his spherical case and blanketed the entire island with snow. Later, we learned that the Ice King did this to take over the island with his queen and defend himself from the prisoner he was hiding. Who was this prisoner? It was none other than the Fire King himself. The Ice King deploys ice monsters all over the map to ensure his takeover mission goes according to plan. During these plans, the prisoner escapes from his castle. While doing so, he destroys a significant part of Tilted Towers and triggers minor earthquakes all across the island at regular intervals. The season ends with a marshmallow event, which at the time broke the record for the highest number of players to be online in a video game ever. It was reported that 10.7 million players logged in for the live event. While this event took place, the prisoner was planning to make his moves and take over the island from the Ice King. With this, we come to the end of part 1 of the 2-part series in which we will cover Season 8 to Season X in the next part. Fortnite blew up overnight, and to be honest, the backstory developed so fast that the developers had to increase the season lengths in the following seasons. A lot more happened before the OG map was taken away, so make sure you are subscribed with notifications on for our Part 2 video and the finale of Chapter 1. What were your favorite moments from Season 1 to 7? Let us know in the comments section below.